us.
Oh God.
We can make.
No.
We can make it if we try.
No, let's not do that
three
either.
of us.
Because
you and I.
My eardrums are still fucking ringing from last week. Somebody's upset.
All right, so we're just gonna start right into it because we are already late. We're like an hour late, damn near starting because Shawny wanted to go and create Corona drinks right now.
He
went all the way to Mexico to get a Corona because that's where the purest Coronas stay.
Imported and all.
Yeah, straight from Cancun.
He walked it across the border himself.
Hold up. Let me get my drugs ready. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is good, people? It's your boy Macky. What's going on, people? It's your boy Macky OMO. I'm here with two of my good brothers. We got Platinum Shawny and Johnny B so razor sharp with the clipper Bonano here. And we are the Paradise Podcast. What the fuck is going on?
I don't have a headache now after that.
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
Just because Kasmeen's not here.
just so we can hear his voice.
Facts. But what's up, guys? It's your boy Macky OMO. Welcome to episode 30. I think I'm going to start saying that because I don't do that enough. And I think that'll remind me what the episodes are because one time I put out 2 episodes 25s and it was not nice. I caught a message from John like, yo, you ain't changed the title, bro. I'm like, damn.
Like you literally put out the same video.
Oh, bro,
different thumbnail.
I was so sick. So yeah.
It's okay. It happens. Mistakes happen.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome to episode 30 of the Paradise Podcast. Where
Catch your breath.
Yeah, I'm tired, bro. It's been a long day. Where we can give you gaming and anime and a little bit of niggerdom. What's going on, people? But yeah, so I think we're just gonna jump right into it. We do the what are we playing? What are we watching right now?
Yeah, what'd you get into last week?
So yeah, let me start. What I'm watching, I'm still watching One Piece, of course. Episode 1006 was insane.
5.
No, oh yeah, 5. I guess.
Yeah, because the last week's was a special episode.
Special, yeah. So 1005 was a great episode. The only thing the issue with One Piece, while I love it so much, I've never said this in public. And I mean, I will be straight up with it. The pacing of One Piece is very, very frustrating because you will sit down there and watch 30 minutes of an episode and you will feel like nothing has happened until the very end. And it's like, what? Like I've been waiting for what happened in this episode to happen maybe like 3 episodes ago. So that's the only thing that's killing me there. But and we could talk about One Piece in that episode a little bit later. But yeah, so One Piece still on Ultimate Spider-Man at the end of season 2. I'm really, really enjoying it. I also watched Encanto this weekend. Really good Disney film.
Yes.
The only thing I will say about it is the songs were not as iconic as other Pixar films, other Pixar films. So, but other than that, the whole movie, top to bottom, it was great. Grandma was shiesty. I don't fuck with her. But, yeah, so Encanto, what else did I watch? I mean, this is not anime, but I watched Euphoria. And
season 2 just came out today, didn't it?
Yesterday, yeah.
Yesterday.
They actually,
that's why everybody talking about it.
They actually crashed HBO Max. I could not watch it at 9 o'clock on the dot. I had to wait till like 9:10 or 9:15 damn near to watch that shit. But yeah. And then what I'm playing right now, I'm just really playing 2K, to be honest. You can see it right there in the back. Just been playing 2K. I'm sorry, John. I've gone back to my
Your routine.
a basic bitch boy
Oh no.
routine of playing 2K. But I don't know, bro. It's just so addicting. I've gotten better at the game, so now it doesn't suck as much. So, but that's what
just
I'm
sound like the
watching.
fuck boyfriend.
Facts. But that's what I'm watching and what I'm playing. What I'm reading right now, I'm still reading Vigilantes. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's all I'm reading right now. I like to read one book at a time. But Shawny, what are you watching? What are you playing? What are you reading?
So right off the back, I watched Demon Slayer this weekend. Attack on Titan came back yesterday, 3:45. It crashed Crunchyroll to shit. So I had to go back to Funimation to watch it. Watched it twice. What else? Watched Witcher. I watched. I finished. It was another Sekai. The Far Away Paladin. Platinum. Nah, peep game. The guys who wrote Death Note. They had another manga they wrote. Platinum End.
Yeah,
it's called Platinum End. The anime is out, and I started catching up. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of slow at first until you get to episode 3, and that's where you really get that Death Note shock factor. Like, okay, you know what? This is what I was looking for. This gives me Death Note vibes. Essentially, if you gotta look at it, it's like imagine where you have how we had Light and he had Ryuk. So take that concept and you give it to 12, maybe 15 people, and they all have their own Ryuk, or basically an angel. And the whole premise is that with all of them having an angel, they're all competing to become the next god, which has to be decided within 999 days. But in order for one of them to become god, you have to kill all the other people who have angels and whatnot. And there's a whole bunch of like rules and whatnot on how to do it, like what arrow can do this, what arrow can do that. Some people can have wings, some people can't. You might have a special rank angel, you might have a rank 1, rank 2 angel, and it's essentially like that concept. And if you think about how like Death Note had it, where they would explain the rules of how to use a Death Note and all the little nicks and whatnot,
the nuances
with it.
To it,
yeah,
exactly. That's the same concept. Like as you meet other characters, some people are good, some people are bad. You have certain angels that work together, and you learn all the different rules and whatnot, learn different things. And some people get creative. It's actually really good. So if you like Death Note, it's definitely a good watch for sure. I will say this: like, be prepared. Like, it's kind of fucked up in a sense. It's more fucked up than Death Note.
Okay.
So you have to go into it with that mindset. But I would say if you're gonna watch it, give it to at least episode. Once you get to 3, that because I stopped watching for a little bit and it got up all the way to like episode 13. Episode 3 for me was like I'm here, I'm locked in. It was slow at first, but like I can see what I can. This is from Death Note.
Okay.
So watch that. Can't remember anything else I might have watched. So for games, I've been playing still Halo, still playing Near Replicant, Pokémon Go.
So wait, pause. I'm a bitch boy for playing 2K, but niggas who play Halo and nothing but Halo are not the same?
Yeah, because that's a Call of Duty, fuckboys.
Wait.
Yeah, Halo's treated differently. Halo's treated differently, especially because there aren't as many like Xbox players as there are like people that play on PC and PlayStation, and people that play on PC and PlayStation play Call of Duty.
Like Call of Duty is essentially the 2K fuckboy game for shooters.
Call of Duty is like Fortnite
okay.
for
So
adults.
you're saying Halo is not that. Call of Duty would be the better,
especially in the last few years.
The more commonly played and the more like regularly. Yeah, it's definitely the Call of Duty franchise.
We should talk more about that. We should table that topic of like talking about fuckboy games. We should definitely table that topic.
Yeah.
We should definitely table
Call of Duty is essentially the Fortnite to adults. Like, if you think about it.
The last Call of Duty I played was Modern Warfare.
Mine was Advanced Warfare.
That was the last one I played.
Warfare 1.
After that,
I bought it when they re-released like a new version of Modern Warfare. That was the last one.
The Modern Warfare 2, right? There was Modern Warfare 2?
There was a Modern Warfare 2, but there was one that came out this like recently, like maybe 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
It was a revamp of it, right? Or was
it was like a revamp of like the Modern
revamped
Warfare franchise. Yeah.
Mm.
So they just called it Modern Warfare, but it has nothing to do with the original Modern Warfare franchise. Right. So I bought that one, and I played a little bit of the campaign, and then I put it down. And I don't do multiplayer like that, so I deleted it.
Call of Duty's campaign is really, really good. Like I'll give them that. Multiplayer I tend to stay away from because it's intense, but their campaign has always been A1 in my opinion.
It's so intense.
So intense and so good.
Intense.
Okay. Oh, and I did catch up on One Piece
too, on multiplayer.
Nice. So you're fully caught up?
Yeah, I honestly stopped after episode 1000 when it came out, and I tend to like leaving One Piece because it's like Macky said earlier, like it's just one of those things that certain things they do, they drag the shit out of it. Luffy will be trying to get somewhere, and they literally take like 5 episodes of them cutting it. You get 5 minutes of him, then you cut to somebody else, and you cut to this, and you cut to that, and then you cut back to Luffy, and then the episode will end. So like binging One Piece is great. But when you catch up, bro, and you have to wait week for this motherfucker just to run another 5 meters.
And what sucks is that we've waited 3 weeks for a new episode. We waited 3 weeks for a new episode.
They stopped 1 week because of the holiday over there. Then they gave us a special episode, which I skipped because it literally was a recap of everything that's fucking happened. Same. And I'll leave that for when I have a week where I'm just off and need to watch something. But nah, like they finally gave, because I think since technically it's the winter anime season, since winter technically starts from December, but like for most of the long running shows is winter, they dropped all new openings. So, Baruto got a new opening, was made by Flo, who did one of the openings for Naruto, so that was enjoyable. Attack on Titan, my nigga, that new opening they got, bro, fucking goosebumps.
It's dope.
Let me tell you,
really dope. I got a chance to watch that.
It's definitely, yeah. Listen, man, and the funny part about it is, like, if you are caught up with Titan, the song is called "The Rumbling."
Dope.
So it's just like
dope.
It's fucking dope, man. It's back. The shit, I know it's still my turn, but that shit crashed Crunchyroll, and I knew that shit was gonna happen because I was watching Platinum End, and Platinum End, I finished my episode at 4:53. No, 3:53. The Titan episode dropped at 3:45, and I knew that shit froze because when I went to try to go watch Titan, nothing loaded on Crunchyroll. Everything crashed. All the servers are fucked. Surprisingly, Funimation was up. Surprisingly, Hulu was able to handle it. So
because they probably don't get as much traffic as
Crunchyroll. Yeah, I do my watch on Hulu.
Yeah. Really like, and then I usually tend to avoid Hulu. I like Crunchyroll because it just has everything there, whatnot. But the funny part about it is, since Sony technically owns Crunchyroll now, like you would think that it would be more up to par, but I feel like they haven't. I don't
think the deal is actually done. I think yes.
It's done. Merged. They just
they have merged, but they're still
haven't merged it.
Yeah, they've finished the deal, but they haven't merged and done all that shit yet. But so you said what you're watching, what you're playing. Are you reading anything?
My Hero. I read the latest chapter, and Tokyo Revengers.
I'm about to start. Yo, if you know, or you could text in the group chat. Tell me what episode does the manga start on for One Piece?
Which one?
Because I want to watch the manga, bro. I mean, I want to read the manga and catch up. Because I'm getting pissed off with all this pacing bullshit. I want to know more.
I'll text.
to know.
I'll text my friend Monica because she reads the manga and she definitely can tell me without spoiling me.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, Johnny B, what you watching, what you playing, and if you're reading, what you're reading?
So not currently reading anything. I have comic book runs that are waiting for me, but I haven't picked them up yet.
You still get that subscription?
No, I canceled that a few years ago because I was just buying like full-on runs of comic books, and I was never cracking them open. Yeah, no, it was costing too much after a while. So this past week, I didn't get a chance, unfortunately, to watch any One Piece. So I don't have a One Piece review for today. And here we go.
That boy was waiting.
I didn't know it was a sad
Man, he doubled on
moment.
you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
You're right, Shawny. I'm gonna get some sad anime tones.
Yeah, there you go.
Better. I just haven't had a chance to do that. But sorry. Continue. I
So-
just had to do it on time because every single time I do it
Yes.
late, and you guys say, "Yeah, you're mad late. Nobody even cared." Now I'm on time, bitch.
There
Go
you
ahead.
are.
Yeah.
You got your jokes. Ha ha,
Yeah.
hee hee, ho ho. So, the only things I got a chance to watch this week were things that we got to see while we were in the barbershop that I actually got to pay full on attention to. So we watched through Don't Look Up. So I saw that movie.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
really good.
And that was great. I thought that
It's
was
scary.
hilarious. Yeah, it's super scary. It's super hilarious.
And realistic.
Realistic to the point where it made me want to do a little bit of research. And I researched that nothing like that can actually happen for real, like the comet thing, just because we're actually prepared for something like that. But in general, just like what the metaphor and the allegory was of the movie, you know, just real funny. So we saw Don't Look Up, and then we
Is
watched
that a
through
live action movie? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Don't Look Up was starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I highly recommend you watch it.
Yeah, it's a Netflix film.
Oh, and Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill and
Oh,
freaking
okay,
Tyler
I've seen
Perry and yeah, it was like
Perry?
Tyler Perry's in the movie. Yeah,
He's not in that way. Though,
he's not a main character, but he's a
Yeah.
reoccurring character. You see him throughout the entire fucking.
and he's
film.
actually like funny. Like it makes sense. Here we go. It's no Medea. Trust. He's actually not playing
just,
Medea.
Yeah, he's just playing a TV personality. But it's interesting. Okay, so Mac's not a Tyler Perry fan. Anyway, and then we saw season 4 of Cobra Kai.
The whole season 4?
Yes, season 4.
Man.
So season 4 of Cobra Kai. So that was great. And
I watched the Karate Kid 2. I haven't watched it yet. I gotta watch
I
it.
actually really liked the original Karate Kid movies growing up.
The first one was really good.
The first one
was
more
good.
than any other one.
Was it 2 and 3?
There's a 2 and a 3.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's 3.
There's a 2 and a 3. And all 3 movies do play important story plot points in Cobra Kai as an entire series. They constantly go back to so many different events that happen. Cool thing about Cobra Kai is that usually if they're talking about something that happened in one of those past films, they'll actually do a flashback and use film footage from those movies of what the hell they were referring to or something like that. So they've definitely done a great job at creating continuity for this like IP. So the franchise now feels a lot more fleshed out, and the characters are definitely more fleshed out. I like it. I like the show. I think the show is actually really good. I think it brings back the Karate Kid in a really interesting way that's not super cheesy, because you know anything you try to revive from the 80s is always going to be super cheesy when you try to do a modern take on it.
From any time period is going to be
not necessarily. Well,
it all depends.
So that brings
We're gonna
me
get into it
to a question that I have.
Hold on. You didn't say what you're playing. You should have started with what you're playing.
You're right. But you segued it. You segued
that,
and I followed.
Oh, me? Oh,
you
my
were like,
bad.
that's why revivals.
I set it up. My bad. It was there. I had to take it to the hoop,
man,
bro.
You missed the basket.
So then don't shout at me. You should have passed the ball, Kobe. Anyway,
no.
So the only 2 games that I'm still playing is Pokemon Sun on 3DS, and I just finished Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's done. I finished it.
What do you rate it?
You have the disc?
Yeah, I have the disc for that.
Pass that thing over.
I'm gonna have to borrow that from you.
Yeah, definitely. We got to actually link anyway. So
for sure, that's what I'm saying. When we link.
Yeah. So yeah, you could borrow that. That's cool. The game is great narratively. I really love this story. This Guardian story was cool. I genuinely laughed while playing the game. So there are a lot of funny moments. The game itself is really, really fun, and it's super fast paced, but the combat takes time to get used to.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know what it was. Maybe there's just something that's not as intuitive with this quick time combat system that they created. Like a good example of like a quick time combat system that worked was like Final Fantasy VII Remake. So you know how like you could just stop what you're doing and
like slows down time and you can use the spells and shit.
You can definitely slow down time when you're trying to pick what you want the next Guardians to do, but for some reason everything is just happening too quickly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really give you an opportunity to make sound decisions or to like actually tell everybody what to do, because you kind of have to in order to defeat certain enemies. Like everybody will just be sitting there getting their ass kicked until you tell somebody to do something. So that's the only thing about the game that bothered me, was just I wish the combat was just a little bit more intuitive. Other than that, the game itself looks great. The characters are amazing. The voice acting was done really well. The story is super solid. If you have a background of Marvel Comics and the Guardians of the Galaxy in general, there are so many Easter eggs and so many cameos and so many like everything throughout the game.
So they're cameos from other
Marvel characters that you
Marvel
wouldn't
characters?
expect to see in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
You'll see them or you'll hear about them.
And it's nothing like the Avengers,
the MCU. Right? Oh no, like the Avengers game. No,
separate,
it is nothing like that. This is a completely different game. It's hard to believe that Square Enix made both of those games.
Because that game, bro.
Because you could tell that dust. You could tell that the Avengers was made with a very different purpose in mind.
That they trying to make money.
So let me really tell you about that game. I want to go on a little soliloquy about that game. The real reason why I hated it is because I feel like the game was made for mobile gaming. It was not made for you to play on your console.
On a system.
Because the way it looked, if you have ever played a mobile fighting game,
grindy.
The screens look just like that, and you have to fucking grind. And honestly, at this big age, if I'm not playing Pokemon, I'm not trying to grind. I'm sorry. Or if I'm not playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, I'm not trying to grind. So please.
The thing, I think it's more so.
If they make hold on, let me just get this out. If they make another one, if they try to make another Avengers game and they follow what you're saying, well, I have to play the Guardian of Galaxy's game. Guardians of the Galaxy's game. But if I play it and I like it, because I take your word for the most part. If you like something, most likely I know I'm gonna like it. So I'll just go off what you're saying. If it's a good game and they make the next Avengers game like that, then I will be on to something. And that bullshit that they made, bro. Mobile gaming on my Xbox. I dropped $30 for a mobile game that I could get for free on my phone.
I get like your stance on that, and I know why that's frustrating. There is some of the Avengers content there that I am still very interested in playing. I'm not necessarily too opposed to the grinding, just because, like, you know, like if you played, like I like beat 'em ups in general, just like as a game genre. So I don't mind just beating up enemies all day. Like that to me isn't a terrible game style, because I like pick up and play type of gameplay. But if you want to know which one I think is a way better game, Guardians of the Galaxy is way better than Marvel's Avengers, you know, like by a long shot.
Demon Slayer or Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, Demon Slayer doesn't come close to that shit. It's just a fucking fighting game.
Demon,
another trash
you can't do that.
But what's different about
we got to strike on these. We have to stop. Shawny, who makes
Bandai Namco?
Who made Demon Slayer?
Yeah.
Bandai
Namco and CyberConnect 2.
Oh, it was CyberConnect 2 because they make games like that. Bandai Namco don't make games like that.
peep game. Well, I mean, it is they work hand in hand. Bandai Namco does a system with it. Cyber Connect 2 just has that Ninja Storm. Like Cyber Connect 2s will always be associated with Ninja Storm. So if you see Cyber Connect on it, you know you're gonna get a Storm type game. Which quick thing, February they're gonna announce their next big game, and it is gonna be anime related. But they said it's gonna be something we've never seen before. The rumor,
So maybe just anime style.
Yeah, but the rumor is that they're gonna do the next Jump Force in a sense, but done right. Because essentially, because think about it, Jump Force is supposed to be taken down completely.
Yeah,
I think by the end of this month.
Yeah, so that means that they might be trying to.
They might be trying to do something.
Where drop it. No, they already dropped the servers. I thought they already did that.
Yeah, but now it's like the server's been dropped, but now it's like you can't even get it off like the digital stores anymore.
Yeah, you can't download it anymore. You can't buy the game. But like you can buy it physically, but that's it.
If you have the game downloaded, will they take the game away?
I don't think they will. I just don't think if you don't have DLC, you're pretty much fucked.
Yeah, that's it. Your version of the game will forever be whatever it is.
So if your shit bugs out, it's done. But honestly, if CyberConnect 2 does pick it up and say, "Yo, we're gonna give you like an anime style game," I might be here for it because CyberConnect's games, even if they're very simple,
so I heard the same thing. I actually read an article about that earlier. I think yesterday. I heard that CyberConnect is making a new Dragon Ball Z game because
they gotta stop
because of the success of Kakarot. So Kakarot in 2019 was like. Or 2020, it was like one of the best games that came out that year. I know,
agree, but
a Spider-Man, what do you call it? The Spider-Man game won Game of the Year, but Kakarot was
the best selling.
Was the best-selling game of that year.
And Xenoverse 2 is still selling.
Yeah, that has a huge fan base. Yeah. Xenoverse,
I think they don't even need fan base. CyberConnect should just let it rock and just drop DLC for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They should just drop DLC for Kakarot
and don't even make a whole new game, bro.
Oh my! I'm sorry, John. We're taking up your time for you saying what you're watching, what you're playing. But like,
it's okay.
That's another topic, bro.
We
have to talk about that too.
We were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, which is the main focus because I'm done with it, and all the only other game I'm playing is Pokemon. But Guardians, in a nutshell, is very different than the Avengers. And I think you would enjoy that because it's designed to be a single-player, story-driven experience. There is no online multiplayer. There is none of that stuff. I found out that once you're done with the game, you do get a new game plus, which was great because there are so many abilities and so many like things that all of the Guardians learn.
Is it like open world?
That are great. No, everything is linear.
Right?
Yeah, everything is linear. So the level is very easy to understand. You're following the story. You have an objective. You follow, where your objective is. You do your missions. You carry out your missions and whatnot. And it pays off to kind of explore a little bit. So you could find, like some of the in-game credits you need to upgrade yourself or to upgrade your weapons or anything like that.
So it's open world. It's not open world, but it's
the environments that they put you in are pretty big. So like, you can.
But how do you move? Like,
adventure.
do you move like how you do in? Because you've played Kakarot, right?
Yeah.
So is it movement like in Kakarot?
No, you're thinking traversing. No, you're thinking of traversing like a big open world. I mean, it's kind of like.
Would you say it's like Uncharted in a sense?
No, it plays more like Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay, so like you're in an area, but you can explore around.
You can explore the area that you're in.
Can you run fast? Can you?
No. You have Peter has one speed. You can hover. It's not that much exploring. Like the world's not that big. The levels are pretty linear, but you have to explore because you find like secret areas that may have items or may have different outfits for the Guardians that you can, you could do so many different like things. So you have to collect like in-game credits and stuff to unlock shit. So it's like all the collectibles. You're basically going to be looking for the collectibles while you're doing games through like that? Levels.
I don't understand.
Because not a lot of people like open world games. Some people just want to have some sort of structure.
I don't get it, bro.
Yeah, it's just a story game. If you ever played like Spider-Man,
you can still have structure in open worlds.
But it's like the thing about, it's
still
not
structure.
There's
only so much you can do in Kakarot. You can't
Yeah,
do more than what you can do
but
unless they
it's
add
still
another
an open
DLC.
world. But it's still an open world. You could travel anywhere you want and do random, like, stupid mini games, or you could do side quests, or you could do the main story. And
I
that's
feel
not
like
how
that's
this
how it
game is
should
set up.
be.
Not every game though.
Not every game should be open world like that. Sometimes they want you to just experience the narrative.
Yeah, like we're
So
telling you a story, stick to the story.
you're gonna get it's something where, like, this game is gonna give you cutscenes in between things that happen, but they're good. It's pushing the story. The Guardians are always talking to each other throughout the whole fucking game, whether it's a cutscene or while you're actually playing the game or while you're doing
How many
shit together.
cutscenes per playing game?
Dude, this is a story-driven game. You ever played like Drake's Uncharted?
That's what I was saying.
Like
Uncharted.
like
If you played
like,
Uncharted, then you would know. Like it's like here's your stage, but you have a mission, point A and point B, but you don't have to go all the way to point A and call it a day. You can go and play around in the area.
You can
find your little
explore
things,
a little bit, find your
but it's
knickknacks.
nothing
That's kind of
extravagant.
like Demon Slayer.
No,
Nah, not really.
Demon Slayer was super ultra simple.
That sounded just a little bit better. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna try the game regardless. Let's move.
You're gonna
on
see what I'm talking about, like after the fact. Like it's not like there are some of the game involves like a little bit of puzzling. So like all of the Guardians have special abilities that help you traverse the environment that you're in. You might need Gamora's help to help lift you over a ledge that's too high for you to jump up. You know what I'm saying? You might need Drax to move a really heavy object. You might need Rocket to crawl into a small air vent or like a small opening somewhere to open a door. You might need Groot to make a freaking bridge with his branches to cross from one side to the other side. So like there's a little bit of puzzling. There's a little bit of I have to go here, I have to get this, I have to, you know what I'm saying? Like and then you figure it out. You get from point A to point B, and then you get another cutscene, you see more of the story, and then it takes you to the next part of the game. And it keeps going. And then each story segment is broken down into chapters. So you start with chapter 1 and then you work your way all the way to the end. It's definitely a worthy play. It's definitely
I'll try
a good
it
game.
out. Okay.
So give it your time.
On to the topics that we're talking about today.
Well, I wanna bring up what inspired the topic initially, since we lost our original segue. So
he wants to bring back the segue.
No, we lost it. So I'm gonna.
It was a good segue. You fucked that up.
It was a good segue. It's okay. But I came across information today that was info confirmed by somebody that had worked on a particular show in the past that won't be working on its revival, but just wanted to confirm that it was happening. But somebody that used to work on a cartoon called Totally Spies, that we all said at one point on this podcast that we all secretly enjoyed,
yes,
is getting a new season. So it made me think about all of the franchises that have had similar revivals over the past couple of years. And I want to know if you guys feel like these revivals are a good thing for these franchises or a negative thing for these franchises or even pop culture as a whole. And if you liked any of these, which ones were they and what did you like about them? Like, is there a good way to do a revival and a bad way? And can we figure out, like what's what? All right.
Examples. So two things. One.
Yes.
Shout out to Totally Spies getting that new season. That shit was hard. I love that show. Another one.
There you go.
2. I'm going to sound like a hypocrite right now.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
We should stop reviving shows.
Okay. So everybody understands what we're talking about here.
Before you get into that, yep.
Yes. An example of a revival is something that's not a reboot. So something that's not been done all over again, just told in a new way, new story, new characters, new whatever. So basically picking up where the original franchise had left off. So examples are like Cobra Kai, for example. It continues the Karate Kid films, Jurassic World, continues Jurassic Park, the new Matrix movie, X-Men 97 coming back and continuing
revival.
X-Men, Clone Wars season 7 when they came back and did the Clone Wars years after the Clone Wars had finished. Ghostbusters.
I told you I was going to sound like a hypocrite.
Ghostbusters Afterlife, which continues the first two films. They did a special for Rocko's Modern Life. They did Invader Zim.
Wasn't that the April Fool's special?
Which one?
The one where they teased us on April Fool's a full years ago that Rocco was coming back.
No, I saw it.
Sorry,
I watched it.
I think, right?
They did a movie. I watched it. I saw that.
That April Fool's episode pissed me off. It was a fucking Rocco. Was it Rocco just walking? And he was just walking the same way. The music just kept looping for 30 fucking minutes. And me and my boys are all hyped watching, waiting for this shit. And we forgot that it was April Fool's, yo. We were sick. They got everybody, the socials. Everything was hyping.
Oh no, I didn't get caught up with that. I know that they did do like a special. So then you gotta
go look, man. That shit pissed me off.
I would have been mad too. And then they did a movie to continue Invader Zim. If either of you guys ever saw that on Nickelodeon.
Not the new one, but I saw Invader Zim. And one day we're gonna have a conversation about how Nickelodeon went down the toilet. But that's for another day.
We could do that.
Shout out
they
to
did Fuller House.
Still want
right?
that back.
So continuing Full House on Netflix.
Well, it's over. 2020 finished that one.
Yeah, they
but that was a revival. They
that was a revival.
They brought that franchise back.
R.I.P.
for what they could.
R.I.P.
Right? Yeah, to Bob Saget.
The GOAT.
R.I.P. Bob Saget.
They revived the Animaniacs on Hulu.
That's actually good.
It is good. I'm missing season 2, but it is definitely hilarious.
I didn't like the old Animaniacs like that. It was cool, but like
have you rewatched it? Have you rewatched the old one?
I watched the new one and it was okay.
No, but did you rewatch the old ones as your age now?
As an adult?
As an old man now? No.
Yes. You need to go back and rewatch them now because you will laugh your ass off.
Yeah,
they were ahead.
Where are they? They're on Hulu. It's on Hulu. I need shit to watch.
The only stuff on Hulu is the new stuff. They're only pushing the new one on Hulu.
All right.
I wouldn't know who has the rights to the old one. That might be something that like. Shit, I don't know what network. Fucking Peacock. Okay. Somebody's got it. HBO. Warner Brothers.
What show was it? What show was it on? What channel was it on?
It was on Nickelodeon. And
no, it was Warner Brothers.
Nickelodeon, but it was Warner Brothers.
But it was Warner Brothers.
It was Cartoon Network and then Nickelodeon.
The Animaniacs were always Warner Brothers. They were the Warner Brothers, and
it was never on Nickelodeon. It was on. It's Warner Brothers.
It was always the WB.
Yeah,
it was WB, but Nickelodeon picked it up later because they changed the intro to be like now we're on Nickelodeon. If you go back,
I
Nickelodeon.
I think I do remember that. I think I do remember. They did. They were on Nickelodeon for a little bit, but.
Anime revivals, Dragon Ball Super.
That worked,
right?
That's where I'm a hypocrite because that shit is trash.
Dragon Ball Super, and then Bleach. We're getting the revival of Bleach. The anime is coming back.
How many years has it been? Don't let me fight you, my nigga. Don't let me fight you right now, dog. Because Bleach gonna
Bro, don't use those muscles on me. Use them on the anime babes that's watching this. They want to see the muscles.
And then my last example, so we can get on with the subjects here, is Samurai Jack. They revived Samurai Jack.
That was a good one.
With the last season.
You're not about to sit here and tell us all the shits that they revived. Listen, I want you to tell me. I want you. I bet. So I want y'all to tell me why do you think that they should revive things? Why?
Shawny, what do you think before I go?
I think certain shows were good and they didn't continue because of budgets. And they cut them and it's budget cuts. Some of it
20 years later,
or merchandising
you think
sales.
they deserve a chance?
Well, because certain shows.
Or you don't think we deserve something new?
Well, we got a whole bunch of new shit, and sometimes the new shit don't work.
Yeah, but the old shit don't work too sometimes.
Well, at the time. Well, all right, perfect example. Since you want to be a hypocrite, fucking talk the same shit about Young Justice.
Young Justice was a revival.
Exactly.
Wait, what?
Because the show was officially canceled.
an episode. Young Justice stopped on season 2 on Cartoon
That's not a
Network.
revival,
Yes,
bro.
was
it
officially
is.
canceled.
Then what was it? It was a
That's not a bro, because
came back.
bro. All right, so then by that standard, South Park has been a revival. A Family Guy have been a revival
South
because
Park has
all of
never
those shows
finished.
stopped. All of those shows were canceled, and then they came back.
Yeah, that's called
Brooklyn
the revival.
Nine-Nine was a revival because it was canceled, and 30 days later it came back. No, that doesn't make sense, bro. It's not a revival. It's the same show. That's not the same thing.
You can consider it to be fucking revival. Yes,
not a
That's what
revival,
a,
bro.
that's what a revival is.
Bro,
It's
no. We have to figure out how
Clone
long.
Wars is
How
the same
what?
show.
How?
Well,
how?
that's why we define revival and reboot as two different things.
No, bro. I don't.
Revival's the same
I'm not
shit,
talking about.
because if you look at the logic, by what you're saying, right? Brooklyn Nine-Nine got canceled and came back 30 days later. Bleach got finished at 364 back in 2016, 2014, around there. It just got revived. God knows how many years later now. It's still a fucking revival. Same concept.
If you want, you could consider, look, out of all the examples that you gave, the
Or
only
renewal.
ones
Renewal,
that
revival, same shit.
what could be a revival, right? Are all of the new projects that Disney Plus is doing with The Simpsons, right? You could consider
Yes.
The Simpsons a revival because they are producing new content.
No,
and
because they were always
but they are the new license holder,
That's
right? 'Cause
not a
you're saying-
revival though, because they never were canceled.
but they were
Disney
bought out.
just now owns Fox.
They were bought out, and they were.
That's
and now
not a
it's
revival
continuing.
though, bro. They were never canceled.
So-
like, you can't kill something. You can't bring something back that was never dead. You
If
understand?
a show so here's my question. If a show doesn't get renewed or pick up for next season, what happens to it? It's considered canceled.
I understand that, but
By that
Simpsons-
particular
but
network.
I understand that, but Simpsons was never canceled. The parent company that owns Simpsons was just bought by someone else. No one cancels it. It's like you working for Dave's Barbershop, right? And then Supercuts comes and buys Dave's Barbershop and now you work for
never happened.
Supercuts, right? God
that
forbid.
would never happen.
God forbid.
I'm
But
out.
Now you work,
I'm out of this merger. Bye.
now you work for Supercuts, right? Were you ever unemployed?
There
No.
was a mo-
You
there
were
was a
never
moment where I didn't
unemployed.
get a check.
There was no stoppage in pay. Your show kept going, so that's not a revival. The shit was just bought.
I get the point that you're trying to make,
Yeah,
but I think
for
we're
that one,
deviating
I feel like
from
we have
the
to.
original question.
I feel like we have to first, before we tackle your question really quickly. I feel like we have to figure out how long of a
A
time.
considerable amount of time.
Okay, so 5 years from Young Justice season 1 to season 2 or whatever is not a long. That's not a revival. Yeah, the show ended.
Yes, it is, because they was
5
not
years
bringing
is a
that-
long time.
They
The
was
ol-
not
the
bringing
only
that-
reason-
it-
yeah,
the only reason they brought it back is because the fans went ham protesting.
Do you know
signing
why they?
petitions
Do you
to
know
bring
why
it
they
back.
canceled it? You know why they canceled it? Because
What?
in America, cartoons are fucking. These companies lose money making cartoons. They make money off of selling the merchandise off of the cartoon. We've talked about
And-
this before in the podcast.
Yeah,
So
and it
that's why
failed and
it was
still
canceled,
came
because
back.
the shows, the cartoon, the figures weren't
The toys
being
weren't
sold.
selling.
Yeah,
because
they weren't
the
selling.
show
But
was
we're
geared
also
towards
in a
an
different.
older audience. It wasn't really
Yeah,
geared
but
towards
we're-
kids, so you can't sell toys to kids when they're not really into the show.
But now we're in a different time where it doesn't matter, where merchandising doesn't really matter as much. Now it's just about
Streams.
if your show is
Yeah.
hitting in the streams and the how popular it is. Young Justice got revived off of the fans literally going back and spamming season 1 and season 2.
But do you think?
Even the
Do you
creators
think that?
like, yo, if y'all wanted to come,
So you're telling me that the people who
That was a
you're telling
show
me
that was
the fans are the ones
100%
that
hit.
revived Fuller House? That's what you're telling me?
No, that's a cash grab.
that was
Look,
that's a cash grab.
the reason why Shawny and I consider
So
Young
revivals aren't
Justice-
cash grabs?
No, listen. You're comparing Young Justice to Fuller House. What I'm saying,
No,
is
no,
that
I'm not. I'm not.
You just brought up Fuller House.
No, you are, because you're saying, because they both are revivals, and I'm telling you that Young Justice having a considerable break. Yes, it was canceled, but niggas is like, no, bro, we about to bring this shit back. And it came back 5 or 6 years
Young
later.
Justice, here's the thing. You can't say that Young
Something-
Justice took a break. It got canceled.
Yeah,
and
it wasn't a break.
Revived.
They definitely did.
Cartoon Network
I
canceled
agree.
that shit.
I'm telling you that they did cancel it, bro. But my thing is,
The
it's
fans
not
were
me
lucky
that's
that
comparing.
they decided to make another season. After
It's not
that.
me that's comparing it to Fuller House. It's y'all because you guys are calling it a revival. I'm saying it's not. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, you can call Fuller. Then maybe you want to call. That's where we define it. Where maybe you want
Is
to call
Fuller House a
Fuller
reboot?
to be a reboot.
Fuller House
I
isn't
would
a
say-
reboot because the same characters come back as themselves in a future part of the timeline.
Like you know what's a reboot? The new Fresh Prince that's coming up.
That's a
Prince
reboot.
That's coming
Yes.
up. That's a reboot.
That's a reboot.
That's a reboot.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
The game revival, right? Because they canceled it and now they bring it back. They brought it back on Paramount Plus. I don't know.
Is
the same
it the
people?
exact same characters continuing?
Only
the story
two
where they
characters
left
I
off?
think are the same in the show.
Then
think
it
I
might
would
watched
be a
it.
revival because
That depends if they.
That's not a reboot. That's a
If they
reboot.
keep.
If
they
they're
keep
telling the
same
story over again.
and bring in new characters,
It's a new
and they have-
story.
if
Or
it's
it's
a
a,
new
it's a
story,
continuation
but it
on.
can-
But if
it's
it's
a
a
continuation, it's a
continuation, then
revival.
it's a revival because it's continuing
because you
what
could
was
say
already
the definition-
existed.
Yeah, you could say the same thing with Fuller House, where
Fuller
they
House is a
brought back
revival.
the daughters and the best friend. Yeah,
All of the
brought back
family
daughters, they
members
brought back
except
the
for the
best friend.
twins.
Twins are back, and they brought in the new characters, as in like the future kids and whatnot. They brought back Bob Saget, came back on there as well for a few episodes. Danny came on for a few. I think Danny came on for a few episodes.
They had
So,
basically
yeah, it's
the
a
whole
revival.
cast except the twins. And
Yeah.
and that was
And
to tell new stories.
Like I said,
about
I said in the
They made it known
beginning.
kids.
I said in the beginning of this debate, bro, I was gonna be a hypocrite. It's because
Oh yeah, for sure.
certain things.
so your
I
certain
just
stance-
things.
brought up Young Justice to prove the
your
point.
stance-
It's
Yeah,
because
so
I
your
think
stance
it's. I
is
think
that
it's
none of
mostly
them are good.
because. I think it's mostly because the connotation of the word revival. Sometimes in some contexts, if the show is bad, that could be a negative connotation on that, like Fuller House. Not saying I watched it, but if that show is bad, and all these other shows that have been coming out that are revivals aren't as good and are getting canceled still after the fact, it's like, what's the point? Let's do something newer. You feel me? Would you consider Atlanta a revival? No, because
No,
Did it get
It was a break, right?
To get canceled?
but it took a break. He's been working on Atlanta this whole time.
Yeah,
It's not like he
if
stopped working on it.
If it wasn't canceled, then it's not a revival; it's just a continuation. That's the biggest difference here. If a show got canceled, it's
We're
a
talking like
revival.
straight up, it's done.
Canceled,
Like the
it's
people
done.
working on it were under the impression that the show was fucking over. They're not working on it no more. Then all of a sudden, somebody puts the money up and says, "Hey, we want to start working on this again." Or somebody buys the rights to do it and they want to just continue like that. That's continuing where a franchise left off and bringing it into the modern day is reviving that franchise. Like the Matrix movie I brought up earlier. I still haven't gotten a chance to watch the new Matrix movie. I know a lot of people say that it's not that great, but they're basically continuing the original story from the first 3 Matrix films. So that, in my opinion, is a revival, even though it might be telling its own story now that the original events are done and now we're seeing new things, but we're telling a continued story based on the same main character or the same main characters. So the Matrix is a good example of reviving a franchise. I mean, freaking, I brought up X-Men 97. That's reviving
That's
a dead
a revival.
franchise. If
they
you
should
know,
have brought back X-Men Unlimited.
I mean, even something
I
like
mean, they might.
you never
that's
know.
the one that they should have brought back, not 97.
and then-
97 was
and
cool.
then-
Oh, you bugging, nigga?
97 was. I like 97. It was cool, but Unlimited, I fucked with Kitty, man. I fucked with Nightcrawler. I fucked with the Cyclops they had. I fucked with
Dog.
their Wolverine. I fucked with their Professor X. You feel me? Like I
I
fucked
get
with
it, but
that one.
I feel like 97
That shit was
so
mad
close.
sleek and shiny.
97 was so close to the comics, bro. Listen, hold up.
Yeah. So I guess your stance is clear that you're being a little negative on the subject of revivals. There hasn't been
honestly,
not one revival of any franchise that you thought was interesting or that you liked.
Of course.
So give me an example of a revival you liked. Okay.
Because you guys are calling Young Justice a revival. Young Justice is the one.
Okay.
That's the one.
There wasn't any other revival that you said, I'm happy they brought this back and told me more stories.
Boondocks was a revival, right? I was not happy they brought back season 4. It was
they did do a revival of Boondocks.
But to be fair, it wasn't McGruger wasn't on that.
Yeah. But
they still revived the IP.
Yeah, they still revived it. Look at Super.
But Gruger wasn't on it, so I don't count it. Toriyama was on that.
He's not on it though.
Toriyama drew some of the designs, and he wrote bullet points for what he wanted to happen in the story. Yeah. Gave it to Toei Animation and to Toyotaro, and they wrote their own stories. Yeah, he didn't have any participation in GT.
He was just like, yeah, you can take the rights. Go ahead, do what you want to do, and make a story.
Toei owns the rights. They were just like, we're gonna do another Dragon Ball story, and he was like, all right, fine.
Do what you got to do. Just pay me my money. Pay me my licensing fee.
So I like some of the worlds we've gotten to re-explore in different depth, right? Like although I'm not a big fan of Chris Pratt, but I did like the Jurassic World films that we've gotten. Did we talk about Chris Pratt and him not
doing the Mario voice?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, you brought it up where he said that he's very they're very happy to show us the voice that he's gonna be doing. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever happens at this point happens. I'm ready for it. I'm gonna have to take my daughter to see it anyway. So. Chris Charles Martinet. Yes,
Martinet. Why I keep calling him Chris? I called him Chris on that episode.
I don't know. Because you want his name to be Chris, but that's not his name.
He looks like a Chris. I'm sorry.
So Shawny, out of the examples we've given, or maybe something we haven't talked about yet, like were there any revivals that you thought were good for the franchise they brought back? Or do you feel like most of them were a waste of time? Like the way Juice feels, like basically like if you have something that's good and it's not around anymore, just leave it in the past and create new ideas, new IPs. You're muted.
Or use those and create a reboot.
Run the examples.
Like I think I prefer reboots.
Reboots over revivals?
I think I do.
I prefer the other way around.
It depends, man, because sometimes they fuck them up.
No, because they be fucking them up. Like, I don't know about this Fresh Prince joint. And I didn't even really like...
Nobody was asking
for the
Fresh
Prince like that.
Nobody was asking for
the reboot. Like, I get what they were trying to do, make it more dramatized, but, like, I just feel like it kind of...
They're taking the comedy out of it and making it into a drama.
And it becomes a drama, and I kind of already over Black Pain as it is, so I kind of just comedy's the escape. Like sometimes you just don't need to see like we get it.
The pain anymore.
Just black trauma, bro. Tired.
So the examples that I came up with, because I know you guys had other examples that I completely forgot about.
Yeah.
I said Cobra Kai, Jurassic World, Matrix, X-Men 97, Star Wars, Clone Wars.
That hasn't come out yet, so you can't say that. Clone Wars for sure, though.
Clone
Wars was something Pete the Streets was asking for.
Clone Wars actually makes me want to watch. Like, I'm getting ready for that Ahsoka when that shit comes out, bro. I cannot.
Word.
I don't think they should.
Has anybody watched Boba Fett?
They should have them.
Boba Fett, I'm watching. Yeah.
Okay. How is it? I haven't watched it.
Boba Fett is fucking great.
I gotta get back on my Star Wars shit.
John Favreau should never do anything but Star Wars for the rest of his career.
Really?
It's cemented. Like after watching Boba Fett, I just want him to do nothing but Star Wars for the rest of his career. I would die very happy if I got much more Star Wars from his pen. He's definitely the guy. I was saying Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I think they should have left Ghostbusters. Nobody's really asking for Ghostbusters.
Who asked for y'all niggas really like Paul Rudd like that, bro? really want to ask
asking
this
for Ghostbusters
Y'all
because
really
they
like
hated
Paul
the
Rudd?
reboot they did with the women and Thor. Okay, they hated that female reboot of Ghostbusters, and the people
They did it.
know that
This is the
Ghostbusters
second
sells
one, the second
merchandise.
reboot, right?
No, this one isn't a reboot. This one's the revival. So they did the reboot where they did that all-female
Like
cast.
with girls. Oh yeah,
They
yeah,
did
I
the
remember.
all-female cast, and then everybody hated the movie. And they got so much bad shit for it. And they know that Ghostbusters as an IP sells a lot of merchandise and a lot of Halloween costumes.
Yes.
And they want to make sure that they have a good product out to continue pushing the merchandise. And they revived the original storyline and told a newer story about the next generation from those original characters. And they made cameos in the film of the original characters.
As it
so
should be.
it's a continuation
Is it good?
of the original story. I haven't seen it yet. I've
So
spoken
you
to a
can't
lot
count
of people.
those.
I count it because it's something that
But it's-
happened. It was a
it's
franchise
just,
that was
Oh, I
revived.
thought you said that they were good.
No,
You
no,
were
No,
happy.
we're
Shawny was-
discussing. Yeah, I
It was
asking
asking
the list.
for examples, and I brought up Ghostbusters as an example of a franchise that has been revived. That's it.
See, I feel
I
like with
thought those
Matrix,
were the ones that you liked.
No, this is just
Yeah.
what I could remember. I knew was definitely a revival.
yeah, I don't think they should have. I think Matrix they should have left alone, in my opinion.
I heard that
It was mixed. I
Neo-
heard mixed reviews.
Yeah, I heard Neo is like he don't even be fighting niggas no more. He just go like this. He just go like this and shot. Damn, bro.
So anything out of that list, Shawny, that was like definitely yay, or you something that you were like, nah, they need to let this be dead.
I think
Or-
Matrix should have been left dead. I think. I mean, I wasn't really a Ghostbusters fan like that, so that doesn't really matter to me too much. I feel like. I think. I'm gonna throw it out there. I think they're gonna end up redoing Casper.
Oh no!
I was
I could
just
see them
thinking that, bro.
doing it. I think
was
Casper
just
should be
thinking
left
that.
the fuck alone, though.
That's
I think
funny.
how classic it is and how it
that-
rolls.
But
Just leave it
that
alone.
in my opinion, I think they would probably do that as a reboot. I don't think
Mhm.
they would just tell that
Oh.
Casper's story
Oh my
again.
god!
Like I mean,
Yeah.
like, is he gonna age? Like, he's a ghost. He should be a kid forever. Like, is he gonna meet
No,
someone
but he'll
else?
meet. Yeah, it'll be like
You know,
They'll
reboot.
bring a female ghost for him to be happily ever after with, and they just end up becoming miserable.
I don't know. They did like bullshit, like low budget sequels for that
The
Casper film,
Crow.
too.
I think they're gonna. I heard they were doing the Crow again. I wouldn't
That
mind
was-
seeing a current Crow.
But as like a reboot, like fresh, new face, new story, or like
I keep same Crow character
because we
but
can't
new
really
story.
do a revival because we don't
Yeah.
we don't have him in, around anymore to make films.
Yeah.
So
I think those the Crow I would like to see a reboot and Spawn. I think in today's day, Spawn a reboot would be fire, bro.
So you're on the side of the argument that a reboot is more entertaining or more interesting to you than
It depends.
reviving a
It's
franchise.
dependent
Depends.
upon the property.
So
Because
far, all
certain-
of your example are reboots that
Yeah,
you're
it
looking
depends.
forward to.
because I
But
don't
it
think you need to. Those don't need revivals. Those just need reboots into 2022 with the amount what we do with superhero movies, my nigga.
Yeah.
Imagine Spawn, bro. Like a real
Yeah.
horror Spawn. That shit would be fire.
So supposedly they were working
They
on
were,
something. Yeah, and I know that the guy who owns it, what is it? I forget this guy's name. The creator,
Oh,
he
Todd
owns it.
McFarlane?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Todd McFarlane. He says he's working on a whole bunch of shit with Spawn, and I think he bit off more than he could chew at one time, and that's why things are kind of like moving slow.
I think they could.
But
Spawn has a pretty decent following. It's just that we need him to go. We need to bring him back into the spotlight. Back then, the movie was fire, so I can't see why not. That's one thing that I feel like there's a lot of these superhero movies that keep getting fucking rebooted, and we don't really need all the reboots on superhero movies. But there's a whole bunch of like one-shot superhero movies that could do pretty well, and I think Spawn and Crow are two of them that I could think off the top. That you bring them back and they would do pretty good with today's what we can do with today.
Yeah. I do also feel like there's a little bit of a shortage of original ideas. So I get that, right? Like, you know, like
Yeah.
I ask myself, like, are we over, like, are we milking the things that we loved so much in the past, like to the point where, you know, like we definitely have realized we don't have any fresh ideas? Or, you know, like, do these have merit? Like, do people want to see where characters end up? Like, should people be, you know, really exploring more of the worlds that they created and giving us more content and things like that? Like some of it, in my opinion, I think is done really, really well. Like, some of these were like cheesy cash grabs. Like, I think Fuller House was a cheesy cash grab.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
think Rocco's Modern Life was also just like because
Oh yeah,
you
cash
know
grab.
we just
Nostalgia
yeah,
cash
like
grab.
we just wanted to do it, you know, like when they do stuff like that, like, oh, let's see where these characters are. You know, like I appreciated when they finished Samurai Jack. As a Bleach fan, like I'm looking forward to finally seeing the animated part of the end of the story for Bleach. Because I've read the manga. Yeah, I get it. It's your show and you don't like Bleach. So you know, like
I don't not like Bleach.
it's
I just, y'all the, like Shawny said, y'all the
Fucking
evil
hater.
step cousin or whatever he called y'all niggas.
Hater.
it's all good. I feel like when done well, or when done with a reasonable amount of time, you know, like we could get more out of some
Bro, I
of
was
like
just
our classic. Like, oh, you know what's another good revival? Well, I don't know if good, because you hate everything. So,
Here we go.
but a good example. How about this? A good example of a revival.
Just because I critique everything don't mean I hate everything.
You hate
Yeah,
everything.
you hate it.
You have to create.
Creed.
You have to critique everything, bro. I just critiqued
Creed?
One Piece.
Creed.
Like the boxer movie Creed?
Creed is a revival of the Rocky Balboa series, the Rocky movies. It's literally a continuation of that story, because
The best
Rocky Balboa is
Michael
in the fucking
B.
movie.
Jordan movies.
So Michael B. Jordan
best
is just, you know, continuing that story of his father's legacy.
Yeah, I
And
like the little spin they put on that.
You know what I'm saying?
was
So
good.
like, so
It was
that,
good, yeah.
to me is an example of a franchise that benefits from a revival, where we get.
But that one was
flesh outs.
risky.
It
That
was
could have easily flopped, because Rocky, I feel like it did. Rocky was just one of those that it didn't need a revival. If you think about it, like it just
Yeah, 'cause
carries
there were like
itself.
7 of them.
7. They carry themselves the whole way.
Yeah, I mean Stallone, you know.
Oh,
just...
but let me say, to the Totally Spies point, like circling back, the
All the
only
way
way, because
that's fine. Do that.
Because
close it out.
Yeah, because I was thinking the only way that Totally Spies could work, and as well as any other cartoon they try to revive, is, I don't know if you guys watched The Proud Family or seen the revival that Disney Plus is doing.
Yeah, the Proud.
That
No, I
one
didn't catch
is
that.
if you look at the trailer and you look at the original Proud Family, in my opinion, that's
I'm not fucking with the drawings though. We never really
I think
spoke
it's
about that.
I think it's as close as they can get without going over the top trying to make it modern. And I'm not mad at it. I think if they can do Totally Spies the same way, like, the thing is with revival cartoons is you have to somewhat keep the style. You have to evolve it, but you can't evolve it to the point where it looks fucking stupid.
Totally
kind of like
super different than the original.
Like the Powerpuff Girls revival, like how it was just really over the top, completely different from what we had and whatnot.
That one works because that's just a complete reboot. It has nothing to do with the original cartoon.
Right. Yeah, so the revival, if Totally Spies is gonna work, what its charm was how it looked back in the day, the nostalgia and whatnot. That's what's gonna get the people. But you have to kind of keep the story the same. And not the same, but don't try to go over the fucking top. Don't pull a Sex and the City where you're trying to essentially make it, oh, we're gonna make it woke and have them talk about all the current shit. Like, sometimes we don't need all that. Sometimes you could just keep it the same story, the same style from back in the day, and the people who were nostalgic fans are gonna flock to it, because that's what you're essentially working towards anyway. Well, let's be honest, a Totally Spies revival is not going to have new fans going crazy. Well, maybe. You probably have a lot of little girls out there who are going to look at these girls and be like, oh my God, I could be a spy and whatnot, that didn't have the chance to watch something like that back in the day.
I'm about to watch that shit.
Word, I'm about to watch
there should be more like female action stories being told. And Totally Spies was great because, it was just a fun action show that just happened to have 3 girls as its protagonists. It was just kind of like watching
one of the better shows at that time.
Yeah. I enjoyed watching the Powerpuff Girls for the same reasons.
Yeah.
It was just a fun action show that the main protagonists just happened to be girls. Like,
facts.
I didn't think it was necessarily designed to be exclusively for girls. Like you get some cartoons that kind of try to alienate the other audiences, but I think something like Totally Spies would work if they do exactly what Shawny's saying. Keep the art style familiar to the original viewer, but fresh for the new viewer. And make the characters believable. If time has passed, do we believe that these characters are where they are now compared to where we last saw them? And I think that also helps in telling a good story and making that kind of continuity. You feel like, you've traveled in time with these characters when you see them interacting with one another or saying certain things or expressing certain statements.
I think, if you keep it G, I'll end with this. The only cartoon I ever want to see get revived, but I kind of don't at the same time, is Ed, Edd and Eddy. And that's only because you can only revive it if the original creator comes back and still gives us those goofy stories that he thought about back in the day of these kids trying to hustle.
I think that person passed away. If I'm not mistaken.
If he did, rest in peace.
Yeah, I think the creator of that show passed away, and that's one of the reasons why we haven't been able to get anything really from Ed, Edd and Eddy.
And God rest his soul, and I'm perfectly happy with them leaving the show the way it is, because there's just so many iconic moments from those cartoons back then that get memed nowadays that just transcended time.
Yeah, definitely.
His name was Paul Boyd. He passed away August 13th, 2007.
Oh damn!
Yeah, see, he did pass away. So that's I'm guessing when he passed away, he held the rights to the characters. You know what I'm saying? Like he held the rights to whatever he created. So they probably don't have a means of doing it. I'm assuming it's now on streaming service because somebody in his estate is receiving royalties from it. So since that's set up, I'm guessing they're just making residual income off of the streams from the original programming. But that's really it. We're probably not going to get anything at Ed and Eddy ever again. It'll be whatever he gave us,
man.
And that's it.
Timeless.
Yeah. He's an American-born Canadian. That's hilarious. I didn't even know that there were people were born in America and would want to go to Canada besides John.
But what's so funny, and I gotta look it up. I'm going on a tangent, but when Ed, Edd and Eddy came out, my brothers and sisters, because I was the only one out of my 2 brothers and 2 sisters, out of all of them, I was the only one born here. And when Ed, Edd and Eddy came, when Cartoon Network announced that it was coming on, they went crazy. They was like, yo, Ed, Edd and Eddy is coming out. And I'm like, the fuck? Ed, Edd and Eddy was in Jamaica like that? Because they knew about it before Cartoon Network was about to premiere it.
What the fuck?
I gotta look it up because they were hyped when they saw it on there, because they're older, like they're at least 10, 20 years older than me. But when Ed, Edd and Eddy was coming out in Cartoon Network in America, I'm wondering, was it already out in other countries? And Jamaica just be watching a whole bunch of shit from around the world. I wonder if I gotta look it up and find out.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be really cool to look up and tell us what
they knew about it. They was hyped, and I was like, and I'm young, like, how y'all even know about the show? They just announced it.
Yeah, find out. Let us.
I wonder if it was in Canada first.
How that goes. Maybe. I think it was definitely dubbed in Canada. I know that.
That's probably why. And then
I know it was
Jamaica
definitely dubbed in Canada. It might be a full-on Canadian production. And
America picked it
aired. Up. Yeah, it just aired on Cartoon Network. But yeah, that's really dope information to look up. So whatever you find out about that, let us know. So unfortunately, since there is no One Piece review for this episode, we are going to wrap things up with this topic. So I appreciate you guys giving me your insights on revivals and your takes on how reboots are definitely better if done correctly than just picking up an old franchise and continuing from where they left off. So you guys at home listening to the podcast, if you made it all the way to the end of the podcast, just like always, we love and appreciate you greatly. Thank you for joining us here again. You can hang out with us over at the Paradise YouTube channel. If you're listening on Anchor, you can donate to the podcast using Anchor. You can also join us on Patreon and become a Patreon member and get some access to some exclusive video content that we have for you guys. And there is additional YouTube content that is coming out in the very near future. We got more tech breakdowns with me, more hacks with Platinum Shawny. We got anime breakdowns with Macky coming soon also. And we want to hear what you guys are looking to see from us in the podcast as well. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like the video, share it with friends and family that are interested in these types of topics, and let us know what you think. Or was there a revival that we forgot about that's definitely worth our time of day? Are all revivals just a waste of time? Tell us, what you think about any of the subjects we spoke about today, and we will catch you guys on the next episode. See you later.
See you later, guys. Before we go, I just want to say again, RIP to Bob Saget and RIP to Sidney Poitier. If you don't know who Sidney Poitier is, he is a legendary Black actor, one of the first Black actors that really broke out into the mainstream. So yes, he's a pioneer in the game. So RIP to him, as well as to Bob Saget. But we out of here. Shit!